And welcome, special interview show, not on a Monday, but on a Wednesday tonight. And tonight I have got a special treat for you all. Two of my favorite guys who are out there, Ken and Phil from the HerfLocker, will be joining me. We will be talking about, there it is, the Raymond, their new stick. And, I'm getting feedback. Way to go, unprofessional. And so I'm excited to see how everything goes with the stick, find out more about them. And if you don't know who the HerfLocker is, well, we're going to introduce you to them and you're going to love them. So without further ado, bring on Ken and Phil of the HerfLocker. Gentlemen, welcome.
How you doing, buddy?
Hey, good, man. Glad to see you guys.
No, thank you for having us on, my brother. We appreciate it.
Glad to be seen, my guy.
So what can you? Let's just go on ahead and let's talk about the stick.
Okay, so you want to take this part, Phil?
No, go ahead. It's all you, buddy.
All right. So this is our second cigar release that we've done through Pravada. I won't say the rest because we'll get in trouble. It is the Raymond, and it's a 42 by 5 1/4 Connecticut, kind of undisclosed binder and filler. And this dropped on 4th of July at noon. We actually have a significant amount on the site because we kind of learned our lesson the first time around when we had kind of a short amount and they sold out very quickly. And then we got a bunch of hate phone calls from all of our friends saying, hey, asshole, you never told me that the stick dropped. So we wanted to make sure that there were plenty to go around, plenty for people to try, plenty for people to reorder. More like a better volume stick.
Excellent. So introduce both of you guys. Phil, if you want to go, then Ken can go about who you guys are, and then you guys can talk about your channel.
Sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I'm Phil. I live in Western New York with my wife and our lovely dog. And by day, I am a salesperson, and by night, I am a gigantic pervert. Also, cigar salesman and bourbon enthusiast. And that's really all there is to tell about me.
And sure, and I'm Ken. I'm actually from Marblehead, Massachusetts. Most people have never heard of Marblehead, but right next door is the city of Salem, which everyone's always heard of for the witches and all that bullshit. Like I said, I'm up here, married to my lovely wife. I have two older boys. One's 23, one's 16. My oldest just actually moved out, which was great. And my 16, a couple more years before he goes off to college. And then we have, to echo Phil's part, we have 2 dogs, 3 cats, and a whole shit ton of headaches over here. But that's me. And then, of course, the HerfLocker. We're honestly, we were 2 buddies. We became friends because of mutual love for, of all places, Disney World and Disney Vacation Club. And we just started kind of talking, hanging out, did some vacay together. And then got drunk one night, I think, and said, hey, let's start a bourbon and cigar review channel on YouTube. What could go wrong? And that was last September. And we've been having a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you guys really blew up when you guys started up on your channel to where you're at now. I'm honestly, I was like, I just randomly checked you guys out one night. I was scrolling and you guys were live, and I was like, dude, these guys are funny. And I was like, oh, they've only been a channel for like a month and a half, and then yeah. But you guys bring a lot to the channel because you guys are very funny. You have good personalities. Your shows really keep you entertained, and the specials that you guys do with your shows, like you've done like a bourbon blind off challenge, and barbecue, and you've kept it fresh and fun.
Yeah, we really try to. We really try to bring all the, Phil and I are, obviously we're avid cigar smokers and, whiskey, connoisseur, well, assholes, I guess, is a better word than connoisseurs. But we love a lot of other things, him and I are big into barbecuing, big into like kind of doing that as our downtime. And you know what I mean? All three things kind of go together, like glass of whiskey, nice cigar, standing over the Traeger grill. Well, that doesn't suck. So, and honestly, at the core of it, which makes it cool for me is, Phil's like my best friend. He's like a brother to me. We don't get to see each other much because we're distance away, but we always get to do our lives every Thursday, do some cool things here and there. And at the end, it's just two jackasses being jackasses, and that's what we really love about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what I noticed about the stick, you already said it is a Corona. It's a semi-closed foot.
It is.
And it should already be sold out because, well, you already said it. It's by AJ.
It is, yeah. This is a nice AJ Fernandez stick. It was done, it was actually, yes, I won't get too much into it, but it was an AJ stick, and I felt, when we first tried this, we kind of did our test blends for different sticks, and, Phil's a big guy. Phil's, 6'8", 6'9". I'm more of a fire plug, a fire hydrant, a little shorter, a little stout. And we both love, like, big, rotund, Maduro 6x60 box presses. And when we actually sampled this out, I'm generally not a big Connecticut guy, truthfully. I'm not a big Corona guy. I like that big, dark, that Saran stick, right? The big, dark stick. And that was a little shout out to our buddy, sorry. And I smoked this thing, and I didn't want to tell Phil a word. And he smoked through his, actually on a live. And we were both like, fucking hands down, this thing is a fucking firecracker. This thing is one of the best sticks we've had. So that's kind of how we, really stumbled across it.
Yeah. And you guys have been lucky with your first two sticks, really. You found them immediately. I mean, you got hit with this, I guess you could say, the luck bug. Kind of,
yeah.
You lucked into them.
I know how to grease the skids down in Orlando too. So I'm just kidding. No, we've been very fortunate with getting some great test blends.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, because some guys it takes a while.
Yeah, it does. And again, Saran and Sev, our mutual friends out here.
Mm-hmm.
And Saran talked about that when he was on the show. That he didn't think that he was gonna find the stick. It just they kept going through and going through and going through. But it's a process.
Yeah. Yeah, it's and like to your point, we were really lucky. Like we actually, we identified this stick, Christ, probably the beginning of May, Phil. But then obviously, there's some work with finalizing it. There was work, some band design, all that type of stuff, like all the little things you don't think of going into it. And then, truthfully, some buddies of ours were dropping some sticks, and we didn't want to, like Saran and Sev and the Cigar Clowns and, the Cigar Cowboys and stuff. We didn't want to get in their way. So we kind of, we just all kind of slotted ourselves a time frame kind of. So yeah, we've had this around. We've been excited about this for a long time, I guess is my point.
I would. There's like a little kind of a fruit coming off of this wrapper. Not what I would expect off of a Connecticut.
No.
This kind of has almost like a marmalade to me. It's kind of got that sugariness with that dull fruit.
Yeah. If the character of stick that we were trying to identify shines through in the stick that we selected, this should be one of the most, if not the most unique Connecticut cigars you've ever had in your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this thing will blow your doors off. And actually, it's pretty... This was Phil's idea, and it's pretty cool. On one side of our band, it says the Raymond. And on the inside band, because it's so small, the bands overlap, which we knew going into it. But on the inside, it says FAAFO, which, of course, Phil will tell you means fuck around and find out.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. So how did the name the Raymond come about?
So you want me to take this, Phil, or do you want to take it?
No, I think I can give you a break here for a second. The way that we came up with this is, so we kind of have this theme surrounding the cigars that we're doing. It started with the Caesar, who's like the leader of this pack of alpha animals, and they're just kind of absconding around the United States, getting into mischief or whatever. And the Raymond is one of the crew members, but the original crew member that we started with was an unnamed honey badger, just a badass little honey badger. And so we really wanted to develop that character, and we wanted to pick someone as the inspiration that embodied the spirit of a honey badger, which is cunning, viciousness, unrelenting toughness, and basically just impervious to giving a fuck whatsoever. So Ken and I both share a mutual love of the movie The Gentleman, and in the character Mickey, the leader, his right-hand man, his name is Raymond Smith, and he is calm, composed, articulate, and intelligent, but incredibly cunning, incredibly vicious, and you can't kill him. Doesn't matter what you do, you just can't kill him. So in the spirit of that, we decided to go ahead and kind of theme the cigar surrounding the animal, the honey badger, and the character Raymond Smith, and we came up with Raymond H. Badger. And the motto for the cigar, because it's so small and innocent, unassuming looking, but then it punches you in the face, that's why we put fuck around and find out.
Excellent.
Was that a good explanation, Ken?
I do. I think
that
was
is
a
perfect.
good explanation.
That is perfect.
Good question here. We got coming in here from Donnie. He wanted to know, so how many sticks did you go through prior to picking this one?
So it would have been, what, 6, Phil?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and again, we got lucky because we have friends who kind of, will go through dozens. But we actually found this this was part of the second kind of batch of 3, when we kind of pair things up against each other. So 6.
All right, not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. Oh, there's Chalk.
Hey, Chalk.
There she is. I ate a honey badger. Yes, I did. I shaved down the beard. I gotta get all fresh looking for Vegas, baby.
That's right. High speed, low maintenance. That's what you're looking for.
That's right. That's right. I told you I got women to disappoint in Vegas, and so I might as well start with the face.
I got one of those right here. I just disappoint her just fine all on my own.
That is my favorite. That is my favorite pickup line, bro. Is I can't wait to get you home and disappoint the shit out of you.
I can't tell you how many times it's worked too.
Or it's been true.
I don't know what this one may be here. Phil, did you hit quota?
So
No.
I think, is that Chalk?
Yeah, it's Jock.
Is she talking about the quota for Cigars for Warriors?
She is.
So, Chalk, to answer that question, we had a crap ton of people send them out this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then, of course, Monday was the holiday. So we're actually still getting packages in. And we also did, some good friends of ours, provide a couple, asked if it would be okay for people to bring donations to the Lou Leaguer event this weekend that we're going to. And we said, absolutely. Like, I'd love to save you guys shipping if you're going to be there. So I'll have a final number on Sunday when I get back. But I think we're going to be damn close because this is an awesome community. We did a cigar raiser for Cigars for Warriors that it technically ended on the 4th of July. But, of course, I said it had to be mailed by then. So I've gotten emails. There's a bunch of packages coming in, so I'll know the number, like I said, on Sunday.
That's good.
Yeah. But Chalk donated because she is the best. Hers is actually the first one I opened because I saw the name and I got excited.
Oh, I see. Does this mean I'll need to keep my word and smoke that giant-ass cigar with Phil?
Yeah, Phil is going to be smoking a 9x90 Asylum. What's it called, Phil?
The April Fools.
April Fool. Yeah, I was up in Lake George, New York last week, and of course, like all of you guys, I'm sure you go to a different town, you want to find the cigar lounge, and I walked into one, and they had one there in the big ass coffin, and I had to buy it for Phil because in Phil's hands it looks like a fucking Robusto. So
Yes. I actually want to say, I want you guys to make the quota, but I also want to watch Phil smoke that stick.
oh
Well,
yeah.
see, that's the thing. Chalk has it backwards. If I put it out there that if we made the quota, that I would smoke it as part of the charity thing. I would smoke it on a live, but we didn't make the quota, so technically, I don't have to. But I brought it to Philadelphia, and we may be doing some. We may be doing some lives or broadcasting of some sort, and maybe I'll light it up then. Who knows?
Phil,
Okay.
who makes the rules? Ken makes the rules.
Me, motherfucker. Me.
So we very well may hit that quota, but Phil has already have smoked it on Saturday. So
Excellent.
We'll see.
yeah,
We'll see.
This
I brought
is
a lot of
very. So this is very smooth. Is one thing I noticed, and I gotta say,
yeah, it's a nice creamy smoke.
It is because the wrapper, the people there, the wrapper is very oily. You can see it shining in the camera here, but the smoke itself is not oily, and it is a very creamy smoke. Right now, I'm getting it. Right now, I'm feeling very. It has a very Connecticut feel to it right now for me, which I'm assuming as I start digging deeper in, I'm gonna start getting some of that AJ-ness that I'm expecting. Pepper, spice. It's gonna ramp up on the body.
Generally, on this and on his, you're gonna find that like really ramping up in the second third. But that's the thing with this. It starts out like your buddy, and then like Phil will probably do to me down in Philadelphia, gets me drunk and kicks my ass. So, right, Phil?
The Raymond looked mild and innocent, but packed a punch when lit. But in a good way. All right. I'm about halfway through that first third, and that pepper is starting to pick up in the back of my throat. So.
Yep. Yeah, that's where it's going to start. And I don't want to lead you through the tasting notes, so I don't want to influence you as you smoke. But yeah, you're going to find some interesting flavors in there. My man Phil did a wonderful write-up for this on the site where it's for sale, for both the backstory for Raymond and the tasting notes. Because Phil has a great palate.
I didn't read any of that when I bought the sticks. Because I didn't want to have any influence on anything on there, so I really wanted to go into this blind. So
yep, totally. No, that's the way to go. I totally agree.
So yeah, that's all. What I'm going through is everything that I'm picking up just as a first time smoker on this stick. Nothing that I read, nothing that I heard. As soon as they started talking about when Saran and Sev were on with Phil on Saturday, I as much as I wanted to support the live going on, I didn't want to have any influence on anything they were saying.
That is because you're an honest and professional reviewer, and we love your channel and everything you do, brother.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's right.
But yes, this is so far very good. It is starting off mild, typical Connecticut tastes to it. However, the pepper is starting to pick up in the back of the palate. So,
yeah,
very nice.
And for those of you, shameless self-promotion and plug, because we didn't talk about this yet, we did say that it was released through Pravada, but there's still a couple for sale if you want to get your hands on them. It's on PravadaCigarClub.com. And if you go to the store and look under rare cigars and search the Raymond, you'll find it there. And I think it's like $12 or something like that.
Yep.
$12.50.
$12.50
was what it was. Yeah.
Yep. $12.50. We actually did when you not to peel the onion here, but when you do kind of these regional sticks and blends, you pick a certain amount to do. And the first time, like I said, we went conservative. This time we purposely, did probably quite a significant amount more than has been done in the past. So with the sole purpose that we really wanted people to be able to have actually have time to buy it, to try it, to, for it to get a little exposure. And that's solely just because Phil and I, we're passionate about this. We're passionate about our selection process, and we just wanted kind of everyone to, see what we love to, in the form of a cigar.
So do you know how much age was on this stick prior to it coming over to America? Or has it been sitting here for a while?
I am not. So there, nothing official, but if I believe the people that I believe on this one, it's about 4 years.
Okay.
So.
Boy, it's almost like a sugary apricot is what I'm picking up off of the foot here. With a little bit of bread. Like I said, it's got like this marmalade to it because you're picking up this toast, and I'm picking up that like apricot marmalade.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Ken, what are you sipping on? Donnie is asking.
Donnie, I am sipping on Penelope Bourbon, the Architect.
Ooh, I finally fucking found about all that. Did I tell you that, Ken? I got my hands on the Architect.
Oh, very good. Very nice, very nice.
Oh, and we got our buddy there from the Evil Empire, Joe. What's up, my friend?
What up, Joe?
Evil Empire, what's up, guy? Heard you had a couple donkeys on earlier.
Yeah, I heard. I went into his live and shamelessly plugged, us being live tonight.
I saw that.
That's how we do, brother.
That's right. Awesome. And I even put it in there, shamelessly plugged. Wow, I gotta say,
plugged all the time.
I'm loving that smell off the foot.
Yeah, it's really cool and it's really interesting.
Oh, yeah, and you can see the burn, nice ash going, slight little wave, but I don't really mind that. I gotta get used to this camera because it's not the same camera I used to film with, so everything I'm trying to I'm always off-centered a bit.
That's all right.
Yeah. Phil and I are always off-center.
Yeah, we're a little
not even on camera. Bro. Yeah. That's what happens when you get a couple donkeys like us that love cigars in Disney World. It's like the world implodes.
That's all right. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
Oh, Evil Empire's going to have Penelope on their show. That's cool.
Oh. Very cool. We are as well. We're going to have them on the HerfLocker. I think the end of the month. I honest to God, I forget right now. I think it was the 25th when I was looking at my calendars. No, I could be wrong. 27th.
Yeah. I am in a car, Donnie. I travel for work. This is the best I could do.
Yeah, Phil is on the road, for like 10 days straight because you're going to Philadelphia?
Yeah, almost 2 weeks, actually.
Oh, she might love you when you get back.
There's the awesome band.
Yeah, pretty cool, right?
That is a really cool band. I get what you say. You got the Raymond and then FAAFO, which is very nice and it's totally fitting. Yeah. Knowing you guys, I mean, it fits.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Penelope is blowing up.
Yeah, Don,
I know nothing. I know nothing about spirits, so I can't really talk about. People talk about it. I just shake my head like, yeah, okay. I know nothing. People ask me a lot. It's like, well, what kind of spirit would you pair with this? I'm like, I don't know. That's not.
That's an interesting question.
I couldn't tell anybody based upon I could tell somebody. I go, I'd probably take something that has, this was a drier stick, not a lot of sweetness to it. I'd probably say you want to pick something that has a little bit of sweetness to it, maybe a wetter spirit. as well, just to kind of keep that palate moist. But but for I'm not that kind of guy that could tell you anything about that. I honestly I don't know.
You know what though? I'll say my favorite pairing with cigars a lot of times is like cream soda or Dr. Pepper or ginger ale. Or that Dr. Pepper and cream soda. Like it doesn't always have to be spirits to be a great match.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
Soda's great, depending on the stick.
Yeah.
But soda can be phenomenal with a stick.
That is.
Well,
soda.
I'm just going with basic water, so I want to get
Nice.
the true essence of this stick, so I'm only pairing with water.
I've smoked about 19 of them in the past week, so I'm I'm going with the bourbon.
Attaboy. Nah, yeah.
Mm.
So, Danny, what's your overall impression of the smoke output, the smoke texture, and flavor? Is he frozen?
I think we lost Danny.
Oh my
We're back.
goodness. We're back. Oh my goodness. I don't know what happened. The internet just decided it was going to die.
That happens.
All right. So as I was saying, very creamy on the smoke. I really expected, as oily as the wrapper is, to have my lips be way more oily.
Mhm.
But it's not. It definitely, there's like a sweet pepper on my lips. Interesting. Interesting with the fact that the overly fruitiness off of the foot, and the aroma itself is not fruity. I would have expected the aroma, the smoke after I blow out, to have this somewhat of fruitiness, but it doesn't. I pick up definitely more of like a caramel off of that.
Yeah, totally. No, it's definitely an interesting, and like I said, when we first smoked this, I smoked this going to, again, to peel back the onion and not to give things away, but this was part of our, a series of test ones that we were trying, and it was because it was a Connecticut, truthfully, and because it was Corona, I was like, I was almost like, why did he send this to me? And so I smoked it on the way to Home Depot one morning because I was like, I'm going to try it. I'm going to have some time by myself. I put on my favorite Sunday morning YouTube channel. And I, honest to God, I got to the parking lot at Home Depot, which is like 25 minutes from me, and sat there for another half an hour just smoking the thing to the friggin' nub because I was like,
Ooh.
I can't believe the flavor coming out. I cannot believe what I'm smoking. And again, then it's of course it's AJ, so you're like, well, that makes sense because he's a fucking master.
Yes.
Yeah.
The vanilla is really now in the smoke is really ramping up on that vanilla. The caramel has started dying off. The vanilla is picking up. Oh.
Yeah, it throws you for a loop, man. It's not what you're expecting. It's really something. I'm not saying this is a self-serving thing, even though it's going to come off completely self-serving. Like, it is a special cigar that we were so fortunate and blessed to be able to try and to be able to have a big production of.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this was to have something like an AJ fall in your lap, it's like, oh. I mean, that right there, the likelihood that it was going to be a bust from AJ is like,
yeah.
I mean, I can't even get my fingers any closer on that. So, and I know there are people out there love or hate AJ. It's like, oh, they're too full bodied, it's too peppery, it's too, there's too much spice, all that, but that's in my wheelhouse of what I love.
Right. Right, and this isn't in my thought. This isn't over. Like, the Nicaraguans usually are too peppery for me. And I always say it like, I'm like, it feels like a pepper bomb. And, I'm an old man, and as Phil will point out, and, the pepper kind of sets me back a little bit. But I smoked this, I was like, Jesus Christ, this thing is just amazing.
Is somebody wanting you to move, Phil?
No, there's a fucking car alarm going off in the lot next to me.
Oh, well, you need to go get yourself hooked up and shut that off.
That's right.
I'm about to go hook my truck up to the fucking SUV and drag it out into the fucking lanes here.
Now you're talking, dude. I would love to see that on camera. I'd love to see you get arrested on camera. It would be fucking. Oh, sorry.
Why do you think I'd get arrested, bro?
I mean, being a private tote company is probably not legal, I'm guessing.
Oh.
But I could be wrong.
I mean,
maybe it's a good state.
Me, bro.
He's being a good Samaritan.
Yeah, it's like smashing the window when there's a dog in there. No, I get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it.
A dog, or a dog, a baby.
They lost their car. I'm going to put it somewhere obvious for them.
That's right, in the middle of traffic. I like it.
That's right. Someone's going to let them know their car's out there.
That's, and you're a good man, Phil. You're a good guy.
Wow.
So I don't care what our viewers or anyone else say. You're a good guy.
Neither do I.
This has one of the better smoke output from a Corona that I've had in a while. Definitely
Dragon Clouds.
Dragon Clouds, exactly, Dragon Clouds. So, what else do you guys have in the works coming up?
You want to take it, Phil, or do you want me to?
Sure. So, that we know of for sure right now, we told Brian and Darby from Pravada that we want to do our third stick. We've got test blends on the way.
Yep.
We told them specifically we want to do this release that we're doing with the Raymond is to date the biggest release that has dropped so far from a regional group on Pravada. We're the biggest by a pretty wide margin, by a few hundred sticks at least. We wanted to go even bigger because we wanted to be able to do 5-packs. In order to do 5-packs, you have to do 2,000 sticks. So our next run, our third stick, is going to be 2,000 sticks. So we've got that coming up. And then we may or may not be collabing with our aforementioned friends, Sav and Saran, on something that might come out later on in the fall. And at the end of the year, we got tapped by the Cigar Clowns. They're doing something called Cigar Clowns Labs, and it's like they're kind of like the grandfather of all the regional groups. They were the first ones to do that and kind of come up and do their own thing through Pravada. They hustled and released 2 or 3 cigars on their own on the underground, and then Brian took notice and made them the first real regional group, and they kind of have been helping us and all the other regional groups on what to do and how to play and blah, 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 blah. And so we were the first regional group after them, and they tapped us on the shoulder and said that they'd like to do a collab with us. And so we're going to be the inaugural release at the end of this year for the first ever Cigar Clowns Labs project.
Wow.
So we got that working as well.
Wow, and Donnie even said it that, dude, congratulations, man. That is
Thanks, Donnie.
Amazing.
Thank you,
that is so cool.
We got tapped on the shoulder by a spirits company as well, and we're helping them. We sat down in a session with them and their master blender, the CEO and the master blender of the spirits company, along with another prominent member of the bourbon community and a couple of their biggest people internally, from all over the country. And we sat down and we gave them some tasting notes on a spirit that they're developing, and we may be working with them on some future developments as well. So we've got that coming, but we can't say very much about that right now.
Yeah, you guys are going to see it, you guys are going to know it, and you guys are going to be really into it when it pops. So we're hoping
Very cool.
Yeah,
Man,
we're hoping by next month we can talk a little bit more about that one. But yeah, that's coming down the pipe.
you
I'm
guys,
actually, you know what? Out of all that, I'm most excited about our next Pravada drop because Phil and I, you know, when Phil and I come up with these things, like he said earlier, we kind of have a vision of what we want to pay homage to. With the Caesar, that was that was actually harkened back to the first gangster movie out there. It's called Little Caesar, back from the 30s. The Raymond with the gentleman. This one we're actually are going to pay homage to some special men in our lives that raised us. And this one, so the name is, can I drop this name now, Phil, or is that okay? Or
oh, you're gonna give Danny the exclusive? That's fine. He can break it to the world. That's fine.
No, just we don't have to. But Danny's a good guy, so I figured we'd talk about it. So the next one, I'm not going to tell you much about the stick because we're still in the selection. We're going to be in the selection process, but it's going to be called Giovanni D'Onore, which sounds like a gangster name, which is cool. But also in Italian, it means man of honor. So it's going to be like I said, a homage to some special guys in our life. So
that is great.
Wow. Yeah, and that stick will embody them. Is what I'll say.
Very good. That's going to be a special stick when you'll not, that's a stick that when you smoke will talk to you and say, yeah, this does justice.
Yeah, it's gonna be that I smoke it and I get the tingles and I know, this is it, and Phil as well. Obviously we select these things together, so.
So is this really your first time when you guys started this process being involved in going through test blends with,
Yeah, honestly, I've been a cigar smoker since I was 18, but more of a passive one, I guess. I'd have my moments and time frames, but it was really COVID that sparked it up for me. Spark. Joke, I guess, but really sparked it up for me. We all kind of went through that COVID thing, and we sit at home and didn't have much to do because I live at I don't know about you guys, but I live in a fairly restricted state and everything was shut down. So I sat in my backyard and I watched Jeremy Sires and I watched the Bourbon Junkies and I watched guys like that, and really got into cigars again, and then found Pravada and found I tried some other clubs, but really fell in love with the community of it. And got to, built up my collection from maybe 30 cigars to probably, if my wife's asleep, so I can say that's probably 1,200. But really fell in love with the community, that was around it. Because how it's tough, man. Where 95% of the world hates cigars, or they have this negative connotation. Maybe not that much, but a lot, But when you find people that are into it, it's instantly a brotherhood, all walks of life, all parts of the country, all parts of the world, all come together just for the love of the leaf. And not to sound cliche, but it's been a really cool journey. And then this is just the evolution of that journey, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely makes sense. I do test blending for a couple of other brands out there, and then a lot of people know me from the Clowns with their taste tester. That's where some people who may not have heard of me or know me, that's the big one. But I do for some other brands too that I don't disclose because they ask me not to. Yep. But I as I tell people out there, you're going to smoke a lot of trash.
Yep.
And it's a process of going through that. But when you get one, there's one that's dropping at PCA from a brand that I can say from really the start when they started the process last year all the way, probably July or August last year all the way up until almost February, I kept trying the blend, the reblending of it, and I keep giving my notes, and then I was like, dude, that's it right there.
Yep.
And then he came back. He goes, the other people I'd smoked it said the same thing you said. And to see the post on Instagram yesterday about this cigar that's going to be a PCA exclusive release, Like,
very cool.
I get super excited. It's the same thing with those clown sticks too. That I'm like, man, I had my hand in 2 sticks that have dropped from the clowns.
Right.
That I'm like super proud of those sticks. That I could say, yeah, I was part of that process. And it's a great process. And coming up with my, with the own brand now, with the my group members on there. I think some of them didn't realize that they were that they thought they were going to get bangers right off the bat. And I was like, it may be 6 months before we get something that's worth a damn that we could put our name behind and really put out as a brand, and I'm willing to take my time with that. And I think that they're starting to see that process now with the taste testing on that. Yeah, they're not all going to be winners.
Right. No, it's tough, and you have to really think of like all angles with it. Like we actually came across a couple, one particular that I'm thinking about, is a banger stick, but the wrapper was really thin, and I started I smoked it, and it was good for I live in Massachusetts. It's it's the humidity isn't crazy, but you go out to places like Arizona, I was like, this thing's going to crack in 5 seconds. I think of our friend Derek, out in Arizona, this thing's going to crack in about 5 seconds as soon as it hits the outside air. So you really, it's all the different angles you really have to think about when you're doing it, and how's this going to hold up against this? How's this going to hold up against that? So it's tough. It's a tough process. It's a lot harder than people, might think. But it's a cool process. It's a cool learning experience.
It is. It's a great experience. It's a good learning experience because, one, I think some of it really tests your palate. A lot of people who are on the fence about what they think of their palate, I think it justifies where they sit because they're like, this was really bad. And I'm like, yeah, it was really bad. So you're worried about your palate, but at the end of the day, we came to the same conclusion. It was a bad stick. Or, yeah, this was a really good stick. This really hit the spots. Right. And I'm, like I said, I never got my hands on the Caesar saw. I can't compare the Caesar to the Raymond, but I can say that the Raymond is,
What do you mean?
This is awesome.
Didn't we send a Caesar with the Raymond?
You know what? That is my fault, Phil. Danny, I'm going to send you a Raymond tomorrow. I'm sorry, a Caesar tomorrow.
We'll get you one. We'll get you one.
Yeah. That's my bad. I was supposed to throw it in there, and I think I must have reversed them. Somebody got lucky.
Somebody got a fucking Caesar.
It's too jackass. It's probably somebody. No, I'm just kidding.
It's all right.
Don't beat yourself up.
It's all
Ken
right.
likes to beat himself up, but the reality of the situation is that Ken does all the production for our channel. He creates all the designs and art and stuff for the channel. He created the logo. He does all the merchandise. Ken is the driving force and spirit behind the channel. I'm just an idiot who shows up and makes people laugh. So,
well,
my contributions are pretty much that.
But your contributions, I think, are far more than that because, one, you're just not the comic relief, though. For a big portion of out there, you're kind of the face of your guys' brand because you're the one who's always on lives. You're the one who's always promoting what's going on. You really operate the Instagram HerfLocker page.
Yeah, he does.
Your hand in what's going on is far. You have a far greater role in what's going on than what you're giving yourself credit for, Phil.
And I will. I've said this constantly, and I will say this to the day I die. Phil has one of the best palates for cigars and whiskey that I've ever come across. That I've ever, kind of worked. That I've ever just encountered. Phil can nail things that I'm like, oh shit, it tastes good. But Phil actually really digs in, and Phil doesn't give himself enough credit. He is amazing.
Yeah.
Palate. He's an amazing, and also he can articulate the flavors and articulate the pin. We joke around like pink Himalayan sea salt and things, but Phil can really nail the flavors, and he's right every goddamn time.
He is, and I've watched Phil do, smoke a lot of sticks and drop a lot of what his tasting notes are on, and I agree with a lot of them. The only thing that Phil picks up a lot more of than I get is he tends to pick up more herby spices than I pick up on sticks. And that's not, and I'm sure that they're there. And if I probably dug deep down onto that with my palate, I could probably pick a lot of that up too. But I've also put a more focus now on trying to separate out more of the spices instead of just going spice in general or baking spice or cooking spice. Mm-hmm. And I got to say that I do find myself now picking up a bit more herbiness, those herby spices in there. And I attribute that to Phil because he's he's made me want to train my palate a bit more into trying to separate out the spices and be more direct in what I'm tasting instead of just being, spice.
Yeah, no, man. You know what? Rising tides lift all boats. Phil is that rising tide for the channel, for the HerfLocker, for us, because he really, he challenges me with his ability to pick out these things. And we're both savory eaters. Like, I think Phil would say the same thing. I'd rather have 2 steaks than a steak and a dessert. So,
Oh yeah.
I think Phil's got his culinary skills dialed in so far that he knows what different spices taste like, and he can articulate it well. Where again, I'm an old man and I just like, oh, it fucking tastes great. Less filling. It's wonderful.
So, how has YouTube come after you guys on any of your content?
So they have not yet, and I think they haven't yet. They haven't yet. We've always kind of gone into this where, we don't do a lot of advertising. We don't do a lot of stuff like that. We don't do any really. And we kind of went into it saying we kind of don't want it because we just, we're just having fun with the channel. That's all we do. So I think that's the reason, but I'm not sure. But no, we haven't. We've been lucky. We just kind of went full speed ahead and said, fuck it.
Most of your content you guys have out there are live anyway. And and they seem to be leaving the live. They seem to be leaving the live stuff alone. They seem to be leaving the community post stuff alone, shorts alone. It seems to be they're only really focused on pre-recorded content, which is why I moved all my pre-recorded content away, and really just using YouTube as for a catalyst for the lives. So that because they seem to not, and I've changed up my hashtag, so if they're specifically looking for anything cigar or smoking related hashtag, I've done away with all of that on YouTube.
Yeah, and that's what we used to like when a few months ago we were putting up a lot more like pre-recorded stuff, and then we did take the step away from it because truthfully I thought it was going to protect the channel a little bit from their nonsense. While they're, because they go on these like tears and then they back off and they stop. So I was just like, all right, let's kind of go, incognito mode here and do the lives, and then we're gonna readdress in a few months. But we just want to stay having fun. Truthfully, we want to stay having fun and getting people watching, and because everybody who watches ends up being like a friend of ours. We really mean that. Yeah. We get reached out all over the place. It's great.
Yeah, it's awesome. You guys have such a really good channel. The variety of what you have is really good. I enjoy watching your guys' lives. I do. They're fun. They're entertaining. And especially when you guys go live on a night that I'm working late. It's good. For me, it's good entertainment to listen to while I'm while I'm driving. And I appreciate everything you guys do.
Thank you, bro. That means a lot because that's, like I said, we just want to have fun and we want to get the community. We want to give the community an outlet a little bit as best we can. So that means a lot for you to say that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I think you guys are, I think you guys have, you guys have personality. I think you guys provide you provide really good content, and you guys support everybody in the community. So I think that's why you guys are really popular. You guys
Thank you.
you really take the time to make sure that you're putting out quality content, and you're also out there promoting other people with what they got. And I think that's, that I think a lot of big shows, because I consider your guys' show to be one of the bigger shows out there. I mean, when you look at the analytics on it, you're of cigar content creators out there, you're a top 10 show out there analytics wise. So I consider you a big show, that you take the time to make sure that you're putting out the good content, supporting other people, and making sure that you're listening to the feedback from the people.
Right. No, we try, but it's honestly, it really, I don't want to keep talking, Phil, you can jump in, but it's really just the love of the community, because, everyone is such a great, everybody, you get a couple jokers now and then, but like everybody in the community is just so, so giving of their time, of their, their resources, of their effort, of everything. And we just want to be, I guess it's selfish in a way, because we just want to be a part of it. We want to be, we want to go to Lou Leaguer or any of these events and be able to like hang out with some buddies,
Yeah.
And that's really important to us.
Yeah. And Donnie, thank you, Donnie. I mean, that's a really nice comment, and I know the Raymond is fantastic. And if I gotta tell you, if there's still Raymonds available Friday when I get paid, I'm going to buy more Raymonds than what I already bought, because.
Well, like I said, we intentionally went with a bigger drop, so hope I would suspect they will be, and that was that was kind of the plan. So I'm hoping there will be for you. If not, I gotta hook up. I can get you a couple.
Oh, I bought quite a few.
Nice. The last few weeks have been a lot on cigars.
I know how much I spend on cigars, and I've tried to cut down.
It's hard, man, because you know what, you want to cut down, and then like the chosen one drops, and I'm like, and I tried it beforehand, and I was like, fuck, if I don't buy 20 of these, I'm gonna really regret it. So it's tough, but not just them, everybody, The
aroma on this is fantastic. Like I say, the aroma on this has been fantastic. The burn, there we go. The burn has been spot on the whole time. Yeah. Off of my palate's perspective on this stick, now that I'm basically at the very end on this stick, from that, I wouldn't put it much higher than a medium body to me personally.
Yeah.
But the pepper was very nice throughout. The pepper ramped up throughout, where it started in the back of the palate, it moved into the back of the tongue, now it's hitting at the front of the tongue. The retro has been unique throughout this whole stick, with pepper and spice, at times picking up peppermint out of this, which was definitely unique from my perspective, because I think it's underutilized by a lot of manufacturers. And AJ's about the only one that I really ever pick up any sort of peppermint, whether through the retro or on the tongue. But it's not overpowering. It's not going to overwhelm your palate. If you're not a big fan of pepper and spice bombs, it's not a pepper or spice bomb. It's not your typical AJ stick, but it's there, and it lets you know it's there.
Exactly. That's a great analysis
on it. But one I highly recommend. As you can see, I've burned this down almost. So it is a really enjoyable stick. I really liked it.
Yeah, well, something I'm really proud of with this stick is the high quality of the construction. I've smoked like 7 of them now, and I've never once had to relight or touch up or do anything. I set it. It's like that oven or whatever from the 90s or the early 2000s.
Set it and forget it.
Set it and forget it. It's just effortless burn, effortless dragon clouds the whole way through. Yes. Great dynamic range of flavor. It's, I wrote I said that it was our love letter to the community, and of course that's going to be an evolving thing, but it really is our love letter to the community at this point. It embodies everything that Ken and I really wanted it to, and that's rare.
Yep.
And so it was very special to me personally.
Yeah. I think you guys hit a home run with this stick for sure.
Thanks, man.
I think
I appreciate
you
that.
got
Thanks,
you had a gift just fall in your lap, and I think that you got to take those when they come, because they don't come often.
No, they don't.
Nope. We did make sure that the gentleman that selects our test blends for us, who works for Brian, I did make sure to send him some, because I was like, you know what? No one's probably ever sent this poor guy some cigars. So, I figured maybe next time it would grease the skids a little bit better, right?
That's right. Next
Giving
time
away company secrets, Ken.
That's right. Next time you get.
You know what? There would be nothing better for me for Darby next month to be like, oh my God, everyone's picked up the trend and they're sending me cigars, because that dude deserves it. He does a fucking hell of a job. He does a hell of a job.
That is awesome. Guys, I really appreciate you taking the time to come on.
Thank you, sir.
Talk about your stick. For me, it's an honor. I've been big fans of your guys' since you guys started out.
Same, bro. We love your content. We absolutely love it. It's an inspiration for us, so we appreciate you.
Well, thank you so much. Any final closing thoughts from either one of you guys before we sign off?
I'll let you go first, Phil.
The way that we usually end things on the HerfLocker is, if you're ready, willing, and able, do some research on the Cigars for Warriors Fund and initiative.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fantastic. It's probably the coolest charity from our industry, which is the tobacco industry. And just thank you for having us on, and God bless America.
Yeah, Danny. We so appreciate you having us on, man. I love your show. We were watching this as we were starting, and it really gave us inspiration to what we were doing and how to do what we were doing. So we appreciate you, brother. Thank you, and God bless.
Well, good. You took all my mistakes and you didn't do it.
Dude, you climb on the shoulders of giants, and then that way the next guy has an easier road. That's the trick.
Well, that's good. I still make mistakes in all my stuff. I just leave it in.
You should see our pre-production shit. I'm like, Phil, we got 3 minutes, and this is going to take me 5 to generate this. Say something, anything. Even if it's wrong, say it.
That's most of what comes out of Phil's mouth, but it's all right.
Yeah, that's what makes Phil the man and unique.
That's what makes him the man.
Serves its purpose, right?
That's right.
That's
so
right.
Everybody, make sure you head over to Pravada Cigar Club. You hit the shop button, go to the rare section. The Raymond is there. You better grab them up, because this stick is phenomenal. And I guess if I have to throw a rating on it, I'm going to give it a 90. It was perfect.
Thank you.
All throughout.
Thank you, brother.
On it.
Thank you.
And it is definitely a very good stick, and not one to be scared of. If you're not a fan of typical AJ sticks, this is not your typical AJ stick. So
no, it's not.
It's a stick
unique.
I think you're really going to enjoy. It's really unique, and home run from the HerfLocker.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, everybody who tuned in and watched tonight. I appreciate you all tuning in for kind of a last-second impromptu live, but I'm really excited to have Ken and Phil on, and be on the lookout for PCA content that will be dropping next week. And there's oh, look who decided to show up late. Oh, nice. At the end of the show.
Better late than never.
Better late than never, yeah.
I love Saran. Saran's like a brother to us. Saran and Sev are brothers to us. So
Saran and Sev are two of the greatest guys I think
anybody
could meet. Yeah, the world would be a better place with more people like Saran and Sev in it.
Yep,
absolutely.
Yep. And if you're at Lou Liga this weekend, you're going to see Phil and Sev in like a lover's embrace most of the time. And just walk by it. It's fine. Just ignore it. They're happy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I showed up better than most chicks. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
That's true. All right, guys. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time around. So everybody, take care. Be safe out there. Don't do anything none of us would do.
That's
and peace out, everybody.